3 men, 1 lighthouse, an entire island with nowhere to hide, and then they vanished. No bodies, no witnesses, no explanation. More than a century later, the disappearance of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers remains one of the most chilling, unsolved mysteries ever recorded. Even today, investigators, historians, and paranormal researchers still debate what happened on that isolated rock in the Atlantic Ocean. Was it a tragic accident? A rogue wave? Murder? Or something far stranger? Tonight, we're opening the file. This is Black Files, and this is the case of the lighthouse keepers who disappeared without a trace. Far off the western coast of Scotland lies a cluster of rocky islands known as the Flannan Isles. The islands are remote today. However, in 1900, they were practically another world. Towering cliffs rise from the Atlantic Ocean. Violent storms slam into the rocks. And for centuries, local sailors viewed the islands with superstition and fear. Stories spoke of strange presences and ancient spirits lingering among the wind-swept cliffs. To make navigation safer, a lighthouse was built on the largest of the islands, called Eilean Mòr. The lighthouse first began operation in late 1899, and its purpose was simple: keep ships from crashing into the dangerous rocks. But just 1 year after opening, the lighthouse would become the center of one of history's strangest disappearances. December 15th, 1900. A passing ship named the Arctur sailed through rough waters near the island. The crew noticed something unusual. The lighthouse was dark. No beam. No warning light, nothing. A lighthouse going dark wasn't just unusual, it was dangerous. But due to delays in communication, nobody immediately checked on the keepers. Days passed. The ocean continued pounding the island, and nobody knew what had happened. December 26th, 11 days after the light was first reported missing, the relief vessel Hesperus finally reached the island. Captain Jim Harvey expected the usual greeting. Whenever supply ships arrived, at least one lighthouse keeper would appear at the landing area. This time, no one came. The ship's horn sounded across the cliffs. No response. A flare was fired into the sky. Still nothing. Something felt wrong. Very wrong. Relief keeper Joseph Moore was sent ashore. As he climbed toward the lighthouse, an overwhelming sense of dread reportedly settled over him. When he reached the building, he discovered something unsettling. The gate was closed. The main door was shut. Everything appeared normal, and yet no one answered. Inside the lighthouse stood eerily silent. The lamps had been cleaned and maintained. The kitchen was orderly. The beds had not been slept in recently. A clock had stopped, and the 3 keepers were gone. No sign of struggle. No blood, no indication of violence. It was as if the men had simply evaporated. Investigators quickly searched the island. They found several bizarre details. One set of oilskins remained inside the lighthouse. That meant at least one keeper had apparently gone outdoors without proper storm gear. Even stranger, lighthouse regulations required one keeper to remain inside at all times. Yet all 3 men appeared to have left. Why would experienced lighthouse keepers abandon protocol? What could have been important enough to draw every man outside? The mystery deepened. The Northern Lighthouse Board launched an investigation. Superintendent Robert Muirhead examined the island and found evidence of severe storm damage near the western landing area. Railings had been twisted. Equipment had been displaced. A storage box used for ropes had been damaged. The scene suggested incredible force. Muirhead concluded that the keepers likely went outside to secure equipment during dangerous weather, and while doing so, a massive wave may have swept all 3 men into the sea. Case closed, at least officially, but many people weren't convinced. Years later, a far more disturbing story began circulating. According to popular accounts, the lighthouse logbook contained strange entries. One keeper supposedly wrote, "The fierce storms were raging." Another reportedly described veteran keeper James Ducat as unusually frightened. A final entry allegedly read, "Storm ended, sea calm, God is over all." It's chilling, it's dramatic, and it's been repeated for decades. There's just one problem. Many historians believe those famous entries never actually existed. They appear to have originated from later retellings rather than official records. If that's true, one of the most famous pieces of evidence in the case may be nothing more than a legend. For more than a century, the disappearance of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers has fueled endless debate. With no witnesses and only a handful of unsettling clues left behind, the truth remains just out of reach. Over the years, the investigators, historians, and storytellers have put forward a wide range of explanations, from tragic accidents to darker, more mysterious possibilities. Theory number 1. Rogue wave. This remains the most accepted explanation. The Atlantic Ocean around the islands is notoriously violent. A massive wave could have struck unexpectedly and swept the men into the sea. Supporters point to the damaged equipment and exposed landing area. The weakness? Why were all 3 men outside? And why would one leave without proper gear? Theory number 2. Murder and cover-up. Some theorists suggest an argument erupted among the keepers. Perhaps one man killed the others, then took his own life, or escaped by sea. The problem? No evidence. No blood. No weapon. No witnesses. And nowhere practical to disappear on such an isolated island. Theory number 3. Paranormal forces. This is where the mystery enters Black Files territory. The Flannan Isles had a long history of folklore before the lighthouse was ever built. Locals told stories about strange beings and unexplained presences. Some researchers have speculated that the keepers encountered something they couldn't explain. Ghosts, spirits, unknown entities. Of course, no evidence supports these claims, But when people vanish without a trace, strange theories thrive. Theory number 4. Something we haven't considered. Perhaps the most unsettling possibility is that the truth doesn't fit any existing theory. No bodies were ever recovered. No definitive answer was ever established. More than 125 years later, the fate of the 3 keepers remains unknown. Imagine standing alone on that island. The Atlantic roaring below, the wind screaming across the cliffs, the lighthouse beam sweeping through darkness, and somewhere out there, 3 men disappear. Not 1, not 2, 3, without a trace. No final message, no confirmed explanation, just silence, and a mystery that refuses to die. The official explanation points to a deadly wave. Many historians agree it is the most likely answer, yet certainty remains impossible, because the ocean never returned the evidence, and the Flannan Isles never gave up their secret. What do you think happened to the lighthouse keepers? Were they swept away by the sea? Did something more sinister occur? Or does the answer still wait somewhere among the cliffs of the Flannan Isles? Leave your theory in the comments. And if you're fascinated by unsolved mysteries, disappearances, and the unexplained, please subscribe to Black Files and join us as we open up the next case. Until then, always question the darkness.